Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Here you'll find helpful and time-saving resources for teachers who teach online as well as teachers who teach offline. And today I wanted to interview a friend of mine who is also a teacher. She's an ESL teacher. Oh, I'm going to let you tell who you are though. You introduce yourself.
My name is Bridget Carlos, and I have been teaching ESL in the school system for 6 years, and I've been teaching ESL online for about 3 years.
Well, Bridget, can you tell what companies that you currently work for or have worked for?
Okay, I started working for Say ABC in the beginning, and I worked for them for about a year. And that platform, you would teach 4 to 6 kids at a time. And I did that for about a year, and then I moved on to something different. I moved to Magic Ears, and their platform was similar. It was 4 kids at a time. Then, actually, our friend Amy had told me she was going to apply for a VIP kit. I applied and worked for them. I guess I worked for them for about 6 months or even longer. And now I work for Zebra English.
Okay.
So I've been through quite a few companies.
Yeah, I guess you worked for, did you say, which was the first company that you told me?
Say ABC. And I think it was like a partner company with VIP.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure if they're still in business.
I'm not positive either. I'm
Yeah.
really not. But then Magic Ears. Now, so why did you switch from, say, ABC to Magic Ears?
I was not getting enough bookings at the time.
Okay.
They had slowed down, and so I thought, well, I'm going to try something different. And I was hearing a lot of great things about Magic Ears, and I switched to them.
Okay. So this is part-time for you as well.
Yes.
And so now you're at Zebra, and tell me about Zebra.
I love working for Zebra. It's one-on-one, and I've discovered that I prefer to work on platforms that are one-on-one because I feel like I'm accomplishing more, the student is learning more, and we can really connect.
Cool. Okay. And so you've been with Zebra now. Is it Zebra English?
Yes, it's Zebra English. I've been with them for exactly 6 months. I actually just renewed my contract a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Is the application process similar to the other companies?
It is, but right now they have a hiring freeze going on. So right now they're not taking any applications, which I feel like is a good thing. That way teachers are getting enough bookings.
Right, right. And so right now you mentioned that they're on like a 2-week break.
Mm-hmm.
So they just give you a heads up as a teacher. They just say these dates are closed.
Like a couple of months ahead of time, you'll notice when you're booking out that there's like 2 weeks that are blank, and it said Mid-Autumn Festival. So they're taking that time off for the Mid-Autumn Festival, and they let us know, ahead of time. So it's kind of like a little vacation for us.
That is. So, okay, but you are doing this part-time. So what is your other, can you tell me about well, I know what your other role is because we work together in the same district, but can you tell everyone what you do on a daily basis?
I teach kindergarten and first grade ESL in the school system. And right now, I'm pretty much teaching all of my children virtually, which I was kind of excited about because I was, already doing that with Zebra. So the transition wasn't that hard for me.
What about for the kids? Was there any difference?
At first, it was a little different for the kids, but I mean, I'll be honest, I'm really surprised at how well and how fast they have picked up on the virtual class.
Okay, so how many hours are you teaching virtually in your classroom? Or how
during the day?
Yeah.
I'm teaching about 3 to 4 hours a day.
Whew. But you have different kids, right? Your kids are switching out. And so you don't have the same group. You have multiple groups. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sounds similar to what I do, although most of my kids are transitioning back into the classroom.
Yeah,
Even before we stop hybrid, they're transitioning back in. So I feel like there's a difference between teaching our ESL kids that are public school, usually we're seeing them
hmm,
in person, it feels different, and we definitely
yeah,
have to train them how to interact virtually, all the procedures. It's just, it is different for them because they're not used
yeah.
to it. But, well, that's good that your groups have kind of acclimated. Are they staying virtual or are they coming?
I have a couple that are going to start coming to school, but I think the majority of them are planning on staying virtual.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, I know I'm jumping back and forth, but let's talk about Zebra, the
mhm.
company you currently work with. I know you're on a break, but as far as the application process, do you remember how long it took you to get through it? And did you use a referral?
Um, at the time, I used Amy Gailey as a referral, and it was similar to the other platforms. You had to, turn in a resume and do like a short video and talk about your education and your work experience, and then you do a mock interview, and that was basically just teaching a very short lesson. And then with the mentor, she went back and showed me some things I needed to change, and we went over the lesson again. And that was pretty much like a 30-minute process. It was pretty basic, it's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Okay.
But I did notice when I first started the process years ago to start teaching, it was not what I thought. I
Right.
went in, I honestly went into it with the wrong attitude. I went in thinking, okay, I'm an experienced teacher. I've got all this education. This is going to be a breeze, but it's different.
Right.
I should have went in with more of a attitude of, okay, this is new,
Yeah.
lots of TPR. This is going to be different, because my first actual interview, I didn't pass. So, I took a break. I went back, watched a lot of videos, studied, and then the second time I passed. So it's very different from teaching brick and mortar and then teaching online with the company.
I totally agree. And that's one thing that I hear on some of the Facebook groups that I'm on, people that are really wanting to get hired. And even for outschool,
Mm-hmm.
teachers that have taught for years in brick and mortar, their assumption is that, hey, I can do this,
Mm-hmm.
and you can. It's just you have to, there's a little bit of tweak on your mindset, and
Yeah,
TPR is not something we typically do, although I do it now all the time.
I do too. I actually bring it into my classroom now, and I don't realize it.
Do it with adults. I mean, it's funny. And with the mask, now that we have to wear a mask,
Yeah.
I, yeah, I catch myself all the time, and I have to stop myself. It can get silly. But so TPR, and would you say, was it hard for you to slow your pace with these learners? I mean, what other adjustments did you have to make besides the total physical response?
I had to slow down my speech because
Okay.
I can be a pretty fast talker.
Yes. Yes,
And
you can.
that's something I had to work on.
Okay.
And in time, it become natural.
Mhm.
And then later on, like when I interviewed with Zebra, the mentor had told me, she said, I can tell you've been doing this for a long time. Your speech is perfect, your rate is perfect. So it just took practice.
Right. Okay. So I guess so. It's good to know about the different companies. I don't work
Mhm.
for Zebra. You know that, and but I do work for VIP Kid and GoGo Kid and OutSchool, and all of it's very similar in that in what we have to do.
Mhm.
Slow. Even for OutSchool, I found myself slowing down, especially because I usually have younger kids. So and using TPR because it helps for engagement.
It
Um,
does.
so some people might think we're crazy for all the work we do
Yeah.
outside of school, but and you know my why. What is your why do you do it? I mean,
Honestly, the first reason why I started doing it was the money. I needed some
Yeah.
extra income.
Yeah.
And now it's become a hobby. My husband tells everybody, Bridget's hobby is teaching children online. And it is, because it becomes fun and I enjoy it. I have so many stories I share. It's really a hobby.
Yeah.
It makes me happy, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. The money is good,
Hmm.
especially if you just want a little extra in your
Yeah.
pocket every month. So that is a good thing. I think
Hmm.
um, you become a little bit addicted to teaching if you
Yeah.
really like engaging with children. It can become addictive, and also you want to see how many classes you can get, or which
Hmm.
classes, or if you have a student that's just awesome, you want to see them again. And so you keep opening those slots, hoping they come back.
Yes,
Um,
one of the things I really enjoy building relationships with my students, because, I tell people I'm teaching a child that's across the world.
yeah,
And, we have a relationship every day. I
yeah,
teach this child and they're like, hey, they're so excited.
yeah,
It's just, it's really neat. And I really enjoy it.
good. So would you say it's impacted your, um, like how you are in the classroom, or that doesn't even sound right. I'll edit that part. Let me start over. that's, that's my signal to myself. Stop it. Okay. So would you say that that's impacted your learning, or kind of have you evolved as a teacher because of your experiences online? What?
I feel like I have this year. I actually have a student from China, and it's really impacted me to be more patient with the family. I understand there's like language barriers. They don't understand a lot of things. And she had told me one day, the mom, she said, "Thank you for being so patient with me. You're so kind." And I feel like the classes that I have taught online have really showed me, hey, just put myself in her shoes.
Yeah,
She's here from a different country. She doesn't understand what's going on. And I want to be that person. I want to be that support for her.
yeah, yeah. I get that. I feel it's similar in with my teaching as well. It's just I feel like the communication that I have to, the feedback that I have to give, after classes for teaching online, it's kind of I seek ways to communicate with parents more maybe than I ever did in the classroom, in like a traditional classroom setting. So I kind of, that feeds over into my ESL classes. So yeah, I've noticed a difference too. Um, so is there any advice that you might give, like a regular classroom teacher, a traditional classroom teacher that might be thinking about, kind of on the fence, going, I think I might want to try teaching online for a company, or maybe even, tutoring, starting in their own tutoring business? Is there any advice that you might give them?
I would say go for it. Just give it a try. I mean, you may not like it and then you may love it. That's the only way you can figure out if you really want to do it, is just to get in there and try it and do it.
Yeah. Well, and so when I was thinking about, looking at this company, actually, VIP Kid, I kind of drug my feet for weeks on actually making the interview. I had scheduled it online and then I kept pushing it, delaying it, because I was scared to death.
Yeah.
I wanted to so badly. So basically, I just did it scared. I was totally scared, but I did it. And thankfully,
I was too.
yeah, I mean, terrified, but because I'd never done it before. Something that our classroom teachers now, traditional classroom teachers, have an advantage over maybe when you and I started, is that they've had the experience teaching virtually. Like at
Yeah.
least, meeting with students, even starting the school year, they started it virtually. So um, a lot of that, besides adding the TPR and adding, your rate of speech, that kind of thing. Um, I don't know. That was a major hurdle for me, was just
Hmm.
putting on the headset, looking into the camera, and trying to teach in that way.
Yeah.
So that part scared me.
I was
Now,
afraid too.
yeah,
And I was as soon as that camera came on, I was terrified.
Yeah.
you know, you would have thought I was interviewing for some major big company. But after it
Yeah.
was over, it was just kind of like relief.
Right.
And, I don't know if it's because teachers want to be perfectionists. I kind
That's
of think we do. I think we want to be perfect at everything we do.
right.
And I think that was one of my problems. But now that I'm on the camera so much, it doesn't bother me anymore.
Right. Yeah, I got thrown off too looking at myself. That
Mhm.
drove me nuts at first. Now it's just like, well, you just look at yourself and you look at the child and it's pretty normal. So, well, thank you, Bridget. I appreciate you answering my questions today.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
So, thanks for being with us during our discussion about our whys today and kind of our feelings about how things are presently. If you want to talk with Bridget, find out more from her about Zebra English, her information is listed below in the description box. You can find my information there as well if you have questions about VIP Kid, GoGo Kid, and OutSchool. Also, I'm working on a project for classroom teachers who are interested in maybe working part time or moving into full time teaching online.